Hello friends, welcome back to Geeky Sanjay. Today we are diving into the second part of our Java Path series. If you missed the first video, you can find it in the description below. Let's continue our journey into the world of Java together. Let's start.
We will cover the typecasting. What is the casting as the implicit typecasting and the explicit typecasting? Implicit typecasting happens automatically when assigning a smaller data type to larger ones. And explicit typecasting involves manually converting data from one type to another, ensuring compatibility. Okay, and that we will cover in the detail the video, and I will show you the example also for this. So next we have a understanding method and different types. Okay, so we have a method which we will cover the return type, cover static method, method parameters, pass by value versus pass by reference. Okay, and overloading. It's so pass by value and pass by reference. So pass by value, as we know, we are using in the Java only pass by value, not pass by reference. It is not possible pass by reference. So pass by value means whenever we are passing any parameter in the method, that time it will copy and it will pass the copy of that value if it is the primitive type. But if it is the reference type, it will copy of the reference and pass. So it is very confusing, and so I can explain you more detail because it is very important to understand an important topic. So I will give you the example of this. So we can say like pass by value means whenever we are giving the duplicate copy of my document. So it is not the original, but it is like original and we are just duplicating. So if I'm changing anything in the duplicate document, it will not affect on the main document. So this is called the pass by value. And pass by reference means, because as I told you, pass by reference is not possible in Java, but whenever we are passing the object in the method, that time it will copy the original reference and send as a value. So whenever you are changing anything in that, it will reflect in outside of object. So it will outside of the method. So it will look like same pass by reference, but there is a little difference. So I will give you the example for this. Like you have given the direction of your house to someone, okay, but you have not given to key. Okay, so whenever you are given the key, you have given the access of your house and he can directly change anything. But if you have given the reference of your house, direction of your house, it also can impact on your house, but not directly, but via the directions, whatever you told them. Okay, so this is the basic difference, pass by value and pass by reference. That we will cover in the video whenever we will start this series, because already we started the series, and whenever we have a time, we will definitely create a video for this. Okay, next we have how does memory management happen in Java, understanding about heap and stack memory. So it is very important topic. As we know, we have a two type of memory, heap memory, heap memory and stack memory. So heap memory is a permanent memory, which we can say permanent till then the application is running. So we will keep all the reference values in the heap and reference in the stack. So whenever we are executing temporary functions or any values, that is we will keep in the stack, and whenever the function is run, it will be removed. But whenever we are creating objects or list, it will be store all the data inside of the heap, and their reference we will keep in the stack. So you will get the detail about it later. And next we have a garbage collector. So what is the garbage collector and why it is used? So the garbage collector automatically free up memory by removing unused object ensuring efficient memory usage in Java program. It uses mark and sweep algorithm. There are different types of garbage collector. Single GC means single garbage collector, parallel garbage collector, CMS concurrent mark sweep, and G1. So I explain everything in detail in the notes, and I will create one more video for this specific for the garbage collector because it is very big topic. And as I told you, it will use the algorithm mark and sweep. So how this mark and sweep is working? I will give you the brief intro about it. So this garbage collector has the different parts like S1, S2 and S3. So whenever you are running the program first time and whenever you are creating any object, so it will store all the object in the S1. Okay. And whenever you are again running the program, so it will take the first bucket value and store in the second bucket, and whatever the new references came, it will keep in the first bucket. And it will, whenever it is swapping, it's called the swapping, and it is marking also. So it is marking the age S1, S2. Okay. And same process it will do again, and it will check next time whenever you run. So this algorithm run like this, and I will explain you in the video by creating all the diagrams. So that time it is very easy to understand. It is very hard to understand right now, but I tried my best to explain you how it is working. So next we have a constructor. So we have a multiple constructor inside of this. What is the constructor? Means learn about the constructor including private, default and parameterized type, and understand their difference from methods. So constructor and method have two different things there. Method which we will create to run our program for the logic, and constructor normally we will create to object. Okay. And private constructor, default constructor, parameterized constructor and constructor version method. So parameterized means there we will can pass the parameters, and default constructor, there we will not pass any parameter. That is a default which is provided by the Java. So if we are not writing the custom constructor, it will create default constructor. And if we want to override default constructor, then we have to create an empty constructor in our class. So it will override the default constructor. And we also can write a parameterized constructor. So that we will see in the detail. And private constructor, like whenever you are creating a private, by default it is a public constructor. But whenever we are using the private, so you cannot access outside of class. As you know, the behavior of access modifier, it will behave the same. And why we will using the private constructor, that we will look into whenever we are creating a builder pattern. We will understand that thing, that it is very important to write that time. And next topic is the different operators. Okay. So explore various operators like arithmetic, relational, short circuit, assignment, logical, ternary and bit-byte operator, including advanced uses of enums. And enums is a sort for the enumeration. It's a special type of data in programming that holds a fixed set of values. It's like a list of options that you can choose from. Enum are easier to use because they help organize constant value neatly. You declare them using the keyword enum instead of the class. They can have extra information and method like a values, name, and they help make your code easier to understand and manage. So whenever we will understand about the enum, we have an advance of use of enum because currently you use it only as a keyword. But I explain in detail in the notes where you can see you also can define the methods in enum. And that method, whatever you are defining, that all method belong to every keyword. So every enum behave like an object of that enum class. So whenever you see that section, you will be very surprised because it is very big topic and I covered in very detail. And you will get many insight of the enum. And this arithmetic operator, relational, short circuit operator, as you know, we use the question mark like that. So this all will be covered in detail, which you can see in the notes. Next, we have a control flow statement in our pathway of Java, where we will cover the if statement, if else statements, and switch statements. Loops, all type of loops. We have a for loops, while loops, do while loops, break statement, why we will use the break statement, why we will use the continue statement. So this all you will get the detail, and I will create a detailed video on every topic. So don't worry, I will explain everything with example. So I'm just showing here you the path of Java, what is covered in path in Java. Okay, so I'm just covering all the context of Java. So whenever you have an indexing, you can go through it. Control flow statement like a handling of compile time and handling on runtime errors. So flow statement, we will see there how we will, what is the compile time and what is the runtime. Compile time means whenever we are writing the code, that time it will give us some errors, okay, and we will get some bugs so that we can resolve in the compile time. And the runtime, whenever you are running the program, whenever you're creating the object, that time you will get the runtime error. So runtime error is very bad, and we have to focus, and in our program it should not come. Compile time error we can resolve at the time of compilation. So we will cover next topic is Java collections. As we know, we have a collections in Java, and in the collection of Java, we have a list, queue, set, and map. These are the 4 type of collections, and these are the interfaces. List interfaces, queue, set, and map. And these interfaces has some common method which is implemented by this array list, linked list, and stack. So whenever we talk about the list, it is implementing by the array list, linked list, and stack. Whenever we are talking about the queue interfaces, it is implemented by the priority queue and dequeue. And whenever we discuss about the set, it will implement the set, has set, preset, and link has set. And map, implementing that by the tree map and hash map. So these all we covered. Whenever you see the diagrams, it is very easy to check. So why this collection we will use? Because collection is also an interface, and it has some common method like get, which we can use in any this all collections. Okay, so there are some common method which you can use, and you can see as in the detail in the notes. So next topic has a multithreading and concurrency, which we will cover in the Java pathway. Introducing of multithreading, defining of multithreading, benefit and challenging in multithreading, process versus threads, what is the process versus what is the threads, multithreading in Java. Okay, so process means whenever we are execution program, that the process is created, and in the process we have a many things. Process has its own heap memory, and it has a code blocks, and it has a stack and threads. So one process can have a multiple threads. So we have a multiple process, and multiple process has a multiple thread. And we will cover this in detail because there is a very depth topic. I will explain everything, how one thread will work, like whenever you start the process, and the process, how it will convert it, what are the properties which you can share along with all the threads, which every thread also has a stake, and you cannot share one thread to another thread, and how it will process, how it will convert the code in the byte code, and it will give you to the CPU, and CPU has the CPU scheduler, which will takes this data from the thread and assign this register to the CPU register, and it will start working on this process, and whenever it is somewhere in the middle and you are assigning another thread, so it will stop first thread and it will store data again to the register of thread, okay, and start working on next thread. So this process called the concurrency, okay. So we will cover concurrency in detail. So whenever concurrency means, whenever we are creating a process, it will create one main thread and it will create multiple thread in that main thread. So it is called the concurrency. Concurrency means it will look like all the task is running in the same time, but there is some small difference which we cannot see and is mimic to parallelism. Okay. So what is the parallelism? Means para means together. So two things is going on together. Okay. So if we have a multiple CPUs, means we have a multiple cores. So that parallelism we can use, means parallel two tasks can be run and parallel two thread can be run on the different CPU based on the CPU scheduler. So this is the very brief discussion. It has around, I will create 2-3 videos for this because this is very depth topic and you will enjoy it very much. And I find many developer is struggling in this multi-threading and concurrency, and it is very simple whenever I explain you. As you can see, I given you a depth knowledge how it is working, and whenever I show you the structure and every diagram of this, how this is working, I have written. You can see in the notes also. So I'm just sharing the notes so you can read it out, but I will cover in the video also if you are unable to understand by the notes. So in the video, I will cover in more details. Okay. So stay tuned with, and I spent a month to create this. So I'm expecting to all of you, please like, subscribe, and send this video in the right group because I am not connected with all the groups. So you can send it in the different WhatsApp groups, beginners groups, which is related to this backend Java. Okay, so I need only one help because I'm just creating this last 1 month and I'm expecting only one click and one share from you. So please keep supporting. Next, you can see the Java memory model of process and threads. We will understand what is the process and threads in detail, how it is working from starting, how thread is created, and how it is implemented, and by the process, how it is going to the CPU, and CPU, how it will show the output. This complete process I explain here in the memory model and process and threads. Basic of threads, if you can see, there is a creating a thread, extending the thread classes, implementing the runnable interfaces. Thread lifecycle is there, which we can see how many threads are there. There are different types of threads like timer thread, set timeout thread. Okay, and some thread is invoking in the breaks of the timing that we will cover in this basic of threads. There is one more related to this multi-threading, that is the synchronization and thread safety. This is, we cover synchronization as we are locking the things and we are doing. So whenever we have some process dependent to each other, like we did, like A equals to plus A plus equals to B. So as you can see, we have a single statement, but it behave like a 3 statement. First, we are assigning A equals to value. Then we are doing a addition and then we reassigning it. So whenever we are doing this type of process, that time we are using the thread, and because of the loss of thread safety, it will not behave whatever is required to behave. We will lock this process for one thread. So whenever we are using the synchronize keyword, that time other thread cannot interrupt it. So we will look into in detail later on. And the next is the generic programming in Java, where we will understand how to write generic classes and method in Java and when to use it. Okay. And we will also see the Java 8 features, which is very important and very interesting. I will tell you everything about it. As you can see here, like a functional interface. Okay, what is the functional interface? Functional interface means there is only one method will be there. Okay, it is called the functional interface. Method means signature of method. But in the Java, we also know we have a default and a static method also in the interfaces. Okay, Lambda expressions, as we know, whenever we are creating a classes, we can create a classes and anonymous classes. Anonymous classes means which do not have the name of the classes. And the Lambda function is a shorter form. It look like a arrow function where we just simply have a parameter and the arrow, and the if we have a multi-line code, then we will use the curly braces, and if we have a single line, we'll directly use the without the curly braces. So I will show you in detail. It is very easy, and we will cover the streams API. It is very important topic. Streams. The stream will give us the facility to directly work with the collections, and we can apply the filter method, filter, map. And what is the filter? Filter, we can filter any data in the collections by the conditions we will pass to it, like predicates. Okay, and that predicate will take it as a predicate, and that I will cover in whenever I will cover in the functional component. So there is a predicate we can use, and other type of, which is default interface provided by the Java. Okay, which is we will use in the here streams. Okay, so that we will see in the details. So stream return you the stream, and there is some function which will close this stream, and that call the output of a stream, and that we will see all output functions like a count, which will stop this, and for each, which will stop the stream. Okay, and we will see the default and static method in that interface we already discussed in the functional component. Whenever we have functional component, so functional component has only one method, but we also can define the default and static method in all interfaces. Before, it is not available. Now, while we are using the Java 8 feature, it is available in the interfaces. We can write a default method which can be implemented itself in the interfaces. And there is a static method which we can use multiple static method in the interfaces, and it directly align with the interface. And last, we will cover the unit testing, and we will see how unit testing work, learn the basic of testing Java code in isolation to ensure individual components work correctly, and understanding the mock Ecto framework for simulating dependencies in tests, and that we will cover all the things. So now this is the complete Java path which I showed you, and I have seen many developers was confused whenever we are just doing the course. So I thought I should cover this all complete path. Please subscribe if not subscribe, share with your family, friends. So thank you guys.